I am looking forward to getting moving, and all that being said, I'm just going to take a second, make sure we're all settled on my end, and then I will meet you guys as usual in our comfortable starting position. So whatever that means for you, wherever you would like to get your practice started this evening, as usual, whether that's hands and knees, comfortable seated, something standing, wherever that initial range of motion is going to come from. And I will meet you guys there in just a moment. Alrighty. So, getting started as usual with our scan of the body, starting from the top of the head and moving to the tips of the toes. As you take that scan, first and foremost, as usual, without any judgment, noticing how you're feeling this evening, noticing what's going on in your body, where any points of tension may be, where any spaces that are a little bit sore or tight this evening are, or alternatively, maybe some spaces that are feeling particularly good and you're excited to get moving because they already feel good and they can only feel better here from here on out. Additionally, during your scan of the body, I invite you to take an extra nice deep breath or two just to find a little bit of extra relaxation of tension from the muscles. So starting from the top of the head and moving your way down, noticing where that tension is, and with that following exhale, just allowing a little bit of extra relaxation, particularly in spaces maybe that you traditionally notice you hold tension, maybe like me, you hold it in your jaw or in the muscles in your face a little bit. Maybe you hold it in your shoulders. Maybe it's all the way down to the fingertips, down through the core, the hips, the lower back, into the legs, all the way to the toes. So noticing where particularly maybe you are holding a little bit of extra tension, and send that next exhale there. See if you can just kind of actively relax those muscles a little bit more than they were before. As you complete that extra scan, as you complete that little bit of extra relaxation of tension, I invite you to start off your practice with any initial range of motion that you know is going to feel particularly good for you to start with this evening. So as usual, maybe it's something that we usually start with and you'd like a little bit of extra time in tonight. Maybe it's something that we don't usually start with and you know you like to start your practice with, and we'll take a little bit quicker than usual, just about 4 nice deep breaths in any of those initial ranges of motion or any of those initial stretches. And taking just 2 more nice deep breaths there. Nice and slow. Like I said, tonight will be a little bit slower, a little bit more of a stretching focused practice. So if you don't have time to get all of your regular ranges of motion in, that's okay. Taking your last nice deep breath and then making your way over to comfortable seated. As always, with that comfortable seated position, legs can be crossed like mine are. They can be out long, knees can be bent, feet can be planted. We're going to start with our roll of the head and the neck. So that next nice big inhale finds our super long spine out to the top of the head. That exhale drops the chin to the chest. And then nice and easy, rocking the head side to side, right ear towards that right shoulder, opening up through the left side of the neck. That exhale drops the chin down to the chest, and then left ear towards the left shoulder, opposite side. Just a few times here, nice and easy. Finding that nice stretch, finding that length. Go ahead and find one more time in each direction. As always, please feel free to find that third change of direction up and hit that second side, that final side. After you've done that, that exhale drops the chin back to the chest, and then that inhale lifts the head back up long. Take your time finishing out those last couple. Let's go right into some shoulder rolls up towards the ears, and then either down to the front or down to the back, just a couple in that first direction. Nice big circles. And take one more in that first direction and switch up, same thing other way. And when you finish that out, go ahead and take one more circle in that second direction. Relax those shoulders low away from the ears. We're going into those lateral stretches up next. Go at your own pace, side to side. That first big inhale takes you out and up towards the ceiling. Nice big stretch long away from center. When you get there, take a moment, look up towards those fingertips. Extra little bit of stretch tonight, and then exhale, takes that one hand down, other arm up over top. Nice big reach, nice big stretch there. Maybe the elbow comes down. Either way, the chest stays open. From there, go ahead and move it side to side at a pace that feels good for you. You can move a little faster or a little slower, just finding that nice side body stretch and timing it with your breaths there. So big inhales and exhales as you move side to side. Fabulous. Let's go ahead one more time in each direction. As always, feel free to find that third change of direction if you need it to even out. When you finish that last one, that inhale brings you back to center, and then that exhale just brings those arms down and around, releasing and relaxing those shoulders nice and low away from the ears. From here, let's go into our spinal twist. So that inhale takes those arms out and up towards the ceiling, one more big stretch. Exhale takes that left hand forward and that right arm to the back into our spinal twist. From here, you can choose to take them up as you come through center or keep them low, whichever serves you better. Inhale, either way, brings you a nice long spine through center. Turn the torso opposite direction, right arm forward, left arm back. So a couple times there, side to side, nice easy stretch at your own pace. Like I said, if you like to take those arms high through center, you can. If not, you can trace them around or along those knees and just find that nice easy side to side. Fabulous. And let's go one final time in each direction. Same as always. Feel free to find that third if you need it. When you finish that out, bringing the spine back to center, and then wherever you have those hands, relaxing them down to your sides, relaxing those shoulders, and take your time. I did one less than I should have, so if you've got one or two left, finish them out with that extra range of motion. We are going to do a little bit of extra lower body stretching in our actual practice because it is that stretching focused practice, but we're going to take a couple moments here and do some lower body stretches before we get into it. So let's start by keeping that right leg folded in and taking that left leg out long. As usual, if you like it a little wider, it can be a little wider. If you prefer to have it right down center, you can have it down center. And if you have a tool that you like to use to reach those toes, feel free to grab it. Maybe it's a towel, a blanket. Maybe you have a strap next to you. That's fabulous. With your inhale, find those arms up overhead, nice big long spine. Exhale is going to fold us forward. When you hit the edge of your range of motion, you get to choose where the spine goes as usual. If you round it out, that gives you a little bit more of a stretch through the back of the spine. If you keep the spine a little longer and hinge at those hips, that'll give you a little more intensity through the hamstring. Just finding two more nice deep breaths in this fold. When you're ready from there, go ahead and roll it on up. We're just going to switch right to that other leg. So that left leg folds in, that right leg comes out long. Same concept to get into it. That inhale takes us up, nice long spine. Fold it forward. And then you get to choose, again, where that spine goes, how that stretch is formed here. Depending on where that focus is for you, maybe you start with one and then round into it. Maybe you do the opposite. One more nice deep breath here. And then next inhale rolls us back up, back to that nice long spine. And we're going to do one down the center. Same as we've been doing the last couple weeks, you get to choose that foot position for down the center. So if you know that you really like that butterfly for your stretch down the center, that's fabulous. Maybe feet together, maybe feet out wide, maybe something a little bit different. Anything works, whatever feels good for you. Either way, find that nice inhale, that long spine, and then find your version of that fold. So again, maybe the feet are together, you reach towards the toes. Maybe they're wide, you reach down the center or out towards the toes, or maybe you're in that butterfly and you find those elbows on the knees. We've got a little bit longer in this one because it is down the center. So try and take those couple of nice deep breaths, relax the spine, relax those muscles, find that little bit deeper of a stretch with each exhale. Fabulous. Give me just 2 more nice deep breaths in this big stretch right down the center. And with your next inhale, go ahead and release that. Find that nice long spine. Relax those shoulders. Let's bring it on up to standing. So we're going to make that little transition. Take your time. Make the transition that works for you. Feel free to grab a sip or an extra range of motion if there's one that you know that you need now that we've done a little bit more stretching, and I haven't done it yet. And then we're just going to bring it up to standing right at the top of our mat. We're going to get into it because it is a little bit slower of a practice. We're going to spend some time in each of them so we get that nice big stretch, but we're going to start with 3 nice deep breaths from the top of our mat, leading with those arms. Feel free to find a bend in those knees as well as you inhale. Let's take that first inhale to take those arms out and up. When you get to the top, nice stretch long away from center, maybe a little baby back bend by just taking those thumbs back towards that back wall, opening up the chest and the belly towards the front wall. Exhale brings the arms down and around. 2 more just like that. That big inhale takes us up. A little pause at the top. Exhale brings the hands down. And once again, just like that, inhale takes us up. Pause at the top. And exhale brings the arms down. We're going to do 1 more deep breath, and this one's going to take us into our fold. Inhale takes us up. Exhale takes us into that forward fold. As always, it is our first inversion of the evening. Be gentle on yourself. Be gentle on that lower body, maybe a slight bend in those knees. Maybe the head isn't quite ready to go beneath the heart yet, so you keep it a little bit lifted and just work your way into it. We're going to take 3 nice deep breaths in that fold. Maybe you like that little bit of a side to side, hand to elbow. Maybe it's just straight down the center. Alrighty, fabulous. Let's take a halfway lift with your next inhale. Find that flat back, that long spine, that active core. Exhale back into that fold. Let's get a little bit of lower body work in here with our chair. Sweep those arms up, send those hips back with that inhale. We've got that nice long spine, as always, that nice bend in those knees. Fabulous. Next exhale takes us back into that fold. Lengthen those legs, fingertips back towards the toes. From here, we're going to take it back to our low lunge. So I want you to bend those knees, use those fingertips for support, step that right foot back nice and long. When it gets back there, send that right knee down to the mat, top of that right foot to the mat. We're going to bring that torso up nice and tall and sweep those arms up overhead. I want you to shift the hips just slightly forward as you find kind of that same mini back bend that we did with that first inhale. So just taking the thumbs slightly behind the head, maybe you look up towards them, maybe just that nice chest opener, and keeping those hips shifted slightly forward as well. So you should feel that through that right hip flexor. Next exhale is just going to bring us back to neutral. So just release that, press forward, release those arms back down. And we're going to do our lateral stretch. I'm going to take my left hand, put it on my left knee, my front knee, right arm up over top. Pressing my right hip kind of out and away from my center. So I'm finding, again, that nice deep hip flexor stretch. Fabulous. Inhale brings us back to center. We're going to do each of those 1 more time. So next inhale reaches us up, presses the hips forward, a little mini back bend. Release that back down. Place that left hand on that left knee. Right arm comes up over top. And back to center. From here, we're going to take it to our hamstring stretch. Send those hips back, lengthen that front leg, lift those front toes, hinge at the hips. Use those hands for support if you need it, or out towards those toes for a little bit deeper of a stretch. All right, we're going to do a little bit different of a transition from this position. We're going to take it into our hurdler stretch here. So in order to make this transition, yours might look a little bit different. So I'm starting here. I'm going to just start by sending my right leg out a little bit away from my center line and then sending my hip down. So my right leg is still going to be around to the outside. It can be in a little closer if that feels a little better, or out a little further if that feels a little bit worse. And then, so I'm backwards for you right now, but my left leg is out long and my right leg is out to my side. So the same leg that we had in front for that hamstring stretch. Fabulous. Perfect, perfect. All right, so we're in that hurdler stretch. Now, we've got some options from here. If anything causes you any kind of undue pain, don't do it. I know this can be kind of intense, especially on that hip. First, we're just going to fold it forward. So however far forward you're comfortable going, just taking those fingertips down towards those left toes, hinging at those hips. This will be a little bit intense for that left leg. And then go ahead and bring it up, and we're going to take it backwards. So how far you take it backwards just depends on, again, where you're at, where your body's at. Maybe you just plant those hands behind the hips, and that feels like a pretty intense stretch. Maybe you bring it down to those elbows, and that feels like a pretty intense stretch. Or maybe you bring it all the way down to the floor, and that feels like a pretty intense stretch. Again, not a painful range of motion, but through that hip, and especially through that quad, this will be intense. So just take it as far as you feel comfortable taking it. And if you need a little more space, just take that right foot out a little bit further away from your hip. A little bit more, closer towards the hip is going to be a little more intense. Take one more nice deep breath in this. And then when you're ready, go ahead and press it back up, back to that nice long spine. Now we're going to release this and do a stretch that we already did. So I'm leaning to my left side. I'm bringing my right leg around, and then the sole of that right foot to my inner left leg. So our half fold here again, we already started with. Let's take it down, fingertips towards the toes. So just adjusting those feet for us, same kind of stretch that we did with that hurdler. Inhale brings us back up to that nice long spine. Spinal twist is going to come next. Cross that right leg over that left knee. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Turn the chest towards that right side, that crossover side. Right hand comes around to the outside. Left elbow comes to the outside of that knee. And then just using a little pressure there, I'm opening my chest towards that right wall, opening my shoulders up, finding that spinal twist. And then let's find our counter twist here. So releasing that, you can reach that right hand up if you'd like to, twist towards that left wall, left hand comes around behind. And again, you can notch that elbow on the inside of that right knee this time, or just kind of let it settle down next to you. And then go ahead and release the torso back to center. Figure four comes next. We're going to go ahead and lean back onto those palms, bend that left knee, plant that left foot, start right here, find your long spine and hinge it just slightly forward. So opening up through the chest towards that right leg. If this feels pretty intense, you can stay right here, or when you're ready, let's rock it on back. That left leg leaves the floor and we can interlace that hand underneath that left knee. From here, I want you to think about actively opening that right knee away from you. So as if, you're not going to do it, but as if you placed your right hand on your right knee and pressed it open, I want you to activate the muscles that do that same movement pattern. So just press that knee away from your center line as you keep that left knee right in at that 90 degrees. Very nice. Let's find the spinal twist. Plant that left foot, keep that right ankle crossed over, and pull the knee in towards your center line. Arms out into that nice big T. Now my right ankle is on the left side of my left knee, so I'm going down to the left. So away from that crossed over leg. That foot's going to be underneath the knee. And then you can look over that right shoulder to complete the spinal twist if you'd like. Fabulous. Inhale brings us up to center. And just to kind of even out the spinal twist, I want you to just release that right ankle, plant that foot, and take both knees down to the right. And look over the left shoulder. So a little bit different of a spinal twist on this side, but we will hit the other side when we come back down. Inhale brings those knees back to center and those arms up overhead. We're going to use our core here and bring it up into our boat. So with your exhale, I want you to circle those arms around and lift the torso and those legs. If you need those heels to then meet the floor for that boat pose, that's fabulous. Maybe they're at our 90 degrees. Maybe they're up nice and long, a little bit of extra hip flexor work, wherever you feel comfortable in your boat. Very nice. We're going to take our transition over to hands and knees. So you can cross the legs, roll it up and over. You can circle them around to your side, wherever you need to go to get over to hands and knees. Make your preferred transition from seated to hands and knees. And then we're going to take 2 cats and cows. At whatever pace feels good, those nice inhales and exhales, find that spinal range of motion. From there, we're going to take our downward facing dog first. Normally stretch. You finish that second cat and that second cow. Turn those toes under, press those hips up and back. Find that nice big stretch. Maybe pedal out those heels. Fabulous. I want you to send those knees back to the mat. Send those hips back to the heels. Place those fingertips right behind those hips and open up through the chest, pulling the chin just slightly up towards the ceiling. Now, if this feels okay and your hips are feeling all right tonight, you can press those hips forward and up. Go ahead and release that right back down to center. Come back up and over. We're going to take this back to our lunge. So that left leg is going to come forward. We're going to take this up to our crescent lunge. So curl that right toe under, lift the knees, sweep the arms. Hinge forward those hips, keep that left knee bent. Step that right foot forward next to the left, keep it right into that chair, right into that chair. And inhale takes us up to that extended mountain. Exhale down into that fold. Let's find that other side. Inhale to your halfway lift. Exhale back into that fold. Here comes that chair pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up, send the hips back. Very nice, very nice. Can you get just a little bit deeper on this extra chair? Exhale takes us back into that fold. Go ahead and step that left leg back nice and long this time. Toe down and then knee down, up that left foot. When you're ready, we're going to go ahead and sweep those arms up. Press the hips forward as we find that little mini back bend. Next exhale just kind of brings us back to that even, right down that right knee, left arm reaches up over top. For that nice big lateral stretch. Inhale brings us back to center. We're going to do each of those one more time. Sweep those arms up, press those hips forward, a little mini back bend. Bring it back to that neutral. Right hand comes down to that right knee. Left arm reaches up over top. Press that left hip just slightly away from that center line. And go ahead and bring it back to neutral. Hamstring stretch is going to come next for us. Send those hips back, that right leg long, those right toes up. You can reach to your sides. You can reach out for those toes. Whatever feels good. All right, we're going to make that kind of awkward transition again down to our hurdler stretch. So I'm going to go ahead and take my hands down, just scoot away from my center line. Again, my left foot is still going to be kind of outside that hip, so I'm coming down a little bit more dramatic than I need to over to the right, but feel free to make any adjustments that you need. When we finish that out, that right leg is going to be forward, that left leg is around to our side. We're going to start with our forward fold, so fingertips out towards those toes into that nice deep fold for that hamstring. A little more intense than that half fold that we started with. Again, changes up that positioning. Very nice. Let's go ahead and bring it up through center, and then you've got those same options to lean it back. You can just bring it back to those palms, you can bring it down to those elbows, or you can open it all the way down to the back. Fabulous. With your next inhale, go ahead and bring it back up to that seated position. Take your time on that transition, and then we're sweeping that left leg around to the front, pulling the sole of the left foot to that inner right thigh. From here, we've got our forward fold. Same as before, fingertips down towards those toes. Find that nice stretch. Inhale brings us back up. We've got our spinal twist up next. So that left foot is going to cross to the outside of that right knee. That right arm is going to go up nice and long. We're turning towards that left leg, that crossed over leg, elbow to the outside of that left knee, left hand around behind the back. And let's find our counter twist. Releasing that. Again, you can reach that left up if you'd like. Turn the shoulders to the right, right hand around, and then opening up towards that side wall. Go ahead and release that torso back to center. I'm leaning it back to those palms for my figure four. keeping that ankle crossed over the knee, bend the right knee, plant the foot, find your long spine and kind of sit up into it. You can stay right here if that feels good, or after you've done that, go ahead and take your time and rock it on back. Interlacing those fingers underneath that right knee. And again, thinking about that activation of the left leg. So pressing that left knee kind of away from you towards that opposite wall. Like I said, you're not actually going to do it, but as if you were pressing that hand into that left knee away from you. Fabulous. Let's get our spinal twist in. Plant that right foot. Keep the left ankle crossed over, but pull the knee in towards your center line. Arms out into our T, legs down to the right. Looking over that left shoulder. And we're going to find our counter twist. So bringing those knees back up to center, uncrossing that leg, taking those knees down to that left side and looking over that right shoulder. Fabulous. Go ahead and bring it back to center. Bend the knees, plant the feet. We're taking it up into that boat. We've got a little bit longer of a hold this time than we did last time. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale kind of brings us into that suitcase crunch up into our boat position. Same as before, you've got some options. Heels down, heels up, legs long, wherever you'd like to be. Like I said, we're going to be here just a little bit longer than last time. If you can, we're trying to lean it back a little bit further, but we always want to keep that lower back nice and strong. So if you start to get down here and it rounds out, just sit it up a little bit taller. If you'd like to add a little extra challenge, we can add a little spinal twist to this, just like our Russian twist. Hands in towards your center line, alternating, opening those shoulders side to side. I don't want this to be super fast. If you do find it, we're working on that range of motion and that core here. So nice and controlled, as far as open as you can get those shoulders side to side. If you're finding that twist or that boat, we're here for just another 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release it. Once again, we're making the transition that works for you over to hands and knees. So you can roll over the knees if you'd like, or you can circle the legs around, make your readjustment, and bring it on over. We're going to get our 2 cats and 2 cows, followed by our downward facing dog. So when you get over to hands and knees, those nice inhales and exhales. And then when you finish those 2, turn those toes under, press those hips up and back to that down dog, that nice stretch for that lower body. Maybe you pedal out those heels, maybe you shake the head yes or no, nice and slow, range of motion. Very nice, nice and easy. Go ahead and send those knees back down to the mat. Send those hips back towards the heels, torso comes up nice and long. We're going to send those hands behind the hips. Once again, leaning it back. You can open up the chest and just stay right here. Or if it feels good for those hip flexors, you can press those hips forward and kind of find that modified version of our camel pose. Excellent. If you lifted those hips, go ahead and release them. Bring that torso back up nice and tall. We are going to go ahead and step our right leg forward. So bring those hips up, step that right leg forward. We've got that crescent lunge next. So sweep those arms up, curl the left toe under, lift the knee. Find that balance, find that positioning. And let's take it to our chair. A little bit longer of a hold on this one as well. Hinge at those hips, slide or step that left leg forward to meet the right, bending those knees. If you can meet right in that chair, that's fabulous. If not, when you get there, sink into it. Find that nice long spine, that nice active core. So think about making sure that core is protecting our lower back here. All right, let's cactus those arms. Bring those elbows down, out nice and long, open up, keep the spine nice and long. Keep those hips low. Nice, inhale, extends. And take it up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back, long spine, active core. Exhale, back into that fold. Right leg steps back nice, long toe down, knee down. top of that foot meets. Inhale, sweeps this up, little mini back bend, nice long torso, press those hips forward. Thumbs come back towards that opposite wall. Just once this time here. Go ahead and release that. Left hand comes down to that left knee, right arm reaches up over top, those hips press towards that right wall. Inhale brings us back to center, into that lunge, and then into our hamstring stretch. Send those hips back, lengthen that front leg, lift those front toes. Fingertips can come down for support or out towards the toes for more stretch. And let's make that kind of awkward transition down to our hurdler stretch. So walking it out to the side if you need to, send the hips down to the left. Left leg starts out long, right leg comes out to our side. We're going to do one breath in each direction. So find your next exhale to bring it down. We've got one nice deep inhale and exhale in that forward fold from this hurdler stretch. That following inhale brings us back up and over. And you've got those same three options. Hands behind the hips, elbows down, or torso all the way down. Anything is fabulous. Choose the one that feels best for you. As always, pain-free range of motion. Next inhale brings us back up, back to that nice long spine. Very brief, we're going to do that half stretch. So circle that right leg around in front, sole of the foot towards the inner thigh, and then fold it forward, fingertips towards the toes. One nice deep breath here. Inhale brings us back up, nice long spine. We're going to skip those spinal twists. We're going to go right to our figure four. So crossing that right ankle over that left knee, lean it back, plant those hands, bend the knee, plant the foot. You can stay here or you can roll it on back. Nice. Go ahead and release that foot. We've got our spinal twist. Right knee comes towards our center line. Arms go out into that T. My right ankle is crossed over my left knee, so we're going to the left and looking over that right shoulder. Inhale brings us back up to center. Now this time, instead of starting from the top, we're going to work our way back up. So we're going to switch our spinal twist. Plant that right foot. Cross that left ankle to the outside of the right knee. Left knee still in towards our center line. Legs down to the right. Look over our left shoulder. Let's take it up to our figure four. So legs back to the center. Extend that knee out away from your center line and feel free to pull that right foot up off of the mat, interlacing underneath that right knee if it feels okay. Nice. Go ahead and release that. Let's rock and roll it back up to seated. Right leg is going to come out long. Left sole of the left foot on that inner right thigh. Take that forward fold. Fabulous. Inhale sits us up. All right, this transition to that hurdler stretch. Again, kind of a weird one. It's tough to get in and out of this position. So I'm going to lean all the way over to the right onto my right hip. And then I'm going to circle my left leg around to the outside and sink into that where I'm comfortable. We're going to start to the front here instead of reversing these two. So let's hold it forward first. And then finish this one out by coming up through center, planting those hands behind the hips. You can lean it back to here, to those elbows, or all the way down to the mat. As always, if this side is a little different than the other, that is fine. Very nice. Let's go ahead and bring that torso back up nice and long. All right, now from here, we are going to release that left leg around again. We're going to bring it all the way around to that other side, bring it up and over to our hands and knees. Let's hit those two cats and cows. When you finish those two, take it into that downward facing dog one more time in this first 40 minutes. And we've got our modified camel one more time in this first 40 minutes. So send those knees down, those hips back towards the heels, the hands behind those heels. And then open up through the chest, press it forward. You can press those hips up if that feels okay. Lean the head back if that feels okay. Fabulous. Go ahead and release those hips down if you lifted them. Come on up and over. All right, so we started by stepping that right leg back nice and long. So we're going to step the right leg forward to reverse this, finding that nice low lunge. Start off in that hamstring stretch, send those hips back, lift those toes. And let's finish this one where we started this side. Bend the knees, sweep the arms up into that lunge with that little mini back bend. Right hand comes down to that right knee, left arm reaches up over top. Nice big stretch. Go ahead and bring it back to center. All right, let's take it up into our crescent. So arms sweep up, left toe curls under, left knee lifts, and we're finishing off this practice with our final chair here in this first 40. So step that left leg forward to meet the right. Nice chair pose. Let's find our cactus arms, elbows wide, open through the chest, pull the shoulder blades together. Inhale, extends the arms. Exhale, sinks into it a little deeper. And inhale, stands us up nice and tall. Exhale, brings the arms down, and one more nice deep breath in this first 40. Inhale takes us up. Palms meet. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. Now, as always, if you're joining me for that extra 20, I'll see you back here, same meeting, same information. If not, have a fabulous rest of your Monday night, a great rest of your week, and I will see you next time. The light in me honors the light in you, bowing, as we say, namaste. We'll get moving right again from where we left off. So, we're going to start, same as we did before, with our 3 nice deep breaths. This time, the third one, instead of the fourth one, is going to take us into our forward fold. So, our nice mountain pose. With your next inhale, go ahead and find those arms out and up. Exhale just brings the arms back down and around. Same thing once again. Inhale takes us up. And exhale brings us down. And on this third one, we'll take it into our fold. So our inhale takes us up. And then exhale takes us into that fold, fingertips towards the toes. Let's take our halfway lift. Inhale to that flat back, long spine, nice active core. Exhale back into that fold. From here, let's take it into our chair pose. Sweep those arms up, send those hips back. Very nice, very nice. Nice and solid, nice long spine. Let's find our cactus arms. Bring those elbows down, out nice and wide. Pull the shoulder blades together. Keep the lower back long. I know the tendency here is to start to arch out a little bit, but that's okay. Keep the core active. Inhale, extends the arms. Exhale takes us back into that fold. Let's step our right leg back nice and long, toe down, and then knee down, and then top of that foot down. And let's reach those arms up and send that hip forward. Again, a little mini back bend if that feels okay. Thumbs go back. Go ahead and release that just slightly. Left hand to that left knee, right arm reaches. Very nice. Go ahead and bring that back to center. Send those hips back, lengthen that left leg, lift those left toes, hinge at the hips. Hamstring stretch. So lots of hamstrings, lots of hips tonight. And let's take that transition down into that hurdler stretch. So again, the way that's been working best for you is fabulous. Send those hips down to the left. That right leg is around to the right side. The left leg is out nice and long. Let's start with our fold forward on this one. So fingertips tracing down towards the shin, the ankle, the toes. Inhale brings us up and over through center. Hands behind the hips, or elbows down, or lean it on back. Whichever feels good. And again, if you need that little bit of a release, you can always take that foot a little further away, or that knee a little closer towards your center line. Fabulous. Next inhale brings the torso up and over, but also releases that right leg to kind of circle around. Back to that normal positioning for our half fold, sole of the foot on that inner thigh. And let's fold it forward. Fingertips towards the shin, the ankle, the toes. Go ahead and bring it back up to that nice long spine. We are not going to switch or skip our spinal twist this time because we have time for it. So go ahead and cross that right leg over that left knee. Left arm reaches. Turn the torso towards that right knee. And then elbow can come to the outside. Fabulous. Let's find our counter twist. Release that elbow. You can reach that right arm if you'd like, or you can just switch it up. And then open those shoulders to the left. Go ahead and release that. Let's take it into our figure four. So leaning it on back. Bend that left knee, plant that foot. Take a moment, find your long spine, find this nice stretch, and then if it feels okay, go ahead and rock it on back. Interlace that hand underneath that knee. And same as before, thinking about actively opening that right knee away from our center line here. Nice, go ahead and release, set that left foot down, pull that right knee in towards your center line. Spinal twist, arms open out to the side, knees go down to the left. I'm looking over that right shoulder to complete it. Very nice. Inhale brings us back up to center. All right, we're going to switch sides. We've got your option for some spinal twists on this second side. You can find the same spinal twist, so if this is one that you really like, you can just switch those legs up. If you like a different spinal twist, maybe knees bent, feet planted, maybe we start from that tabletop at 90 degrees, or maybe you start with that left leg up long and that right leg down on the floor. Whatever kind of floor spinal twist that you really like here is your option to find. Either way, we're taking those legs down to the right and looking over that left shoulder. So any of them that feels right, this time we will take it back to the top before we hit that other side. We have the same option as you do here on that second side. And your next inhale is going to bring you back up to center from whatever spinal twist you chose. Release it. We're going to bring it up into our boat pose. Inhale takes those arms up overhead. Exhale, we're going to use that little bit of momentum to bring us up to that boat. Same as before, heels up, heels down, legs long. Choose the option that works best for you. And same as before, if you'd like to add that spinal twist in, we've got about 10 more seconds here. So you can take it into that kind of modified, nice and slow Russian twist. Wherever you are, we're staying here for another 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're rocking it on over to our cat and cow. So use the transition that you like best to bring it from seated over to hands and knees. Make that adjustment. Give me 2 cats and 2 cows. And then when you finish those 2 nice deep breaths, finding that downward facing dog. When you hit that down dog, as always, feel free to pedal out those heels, shake the head yes or no. And nice and easy. We're going to send those knees back down to the mat, those hips back down towards the heels. Now I'll give you the option here. If you like that modified camel, but you know that you really like camel even more, you're welcome to make your way into it with me. If that modified camel is, a little bit better for you than that regular camel, then you can send those hands behind and open up. But if we're going into our regular camel, we're going to take those hips up over top of those knees. We're going to start with 1 half camel on each side, and then that'll make our way into that full camel. So half, take the right arm back, that left arm forward. I'm going to hinge at those hips, bring that right arm down to that right heel, and lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. From here, we're going to use our momentum to come up through center and switch sides. So left arm is going to come up and over. We're going to switch so that the right arm reaches forward and the left arm reaches back, and find that same thing. Left hand down to that left heel, right arm reaches here. Pressing those hips a little bit forward, but keeping the core engaged. Let's bring it up and over one more time back to center. Now again, if that was a little intense, you can send those hips down and do that modified camel. If not, choose the side that felt more comfortable. Take those arms out, send that hand down to the heel, and then you can bring that other arm around to meet that opposite heel. So the only difference between this and that modification we were doing earlier is we have a little bit less positioning here, or a little bit less space between the knees and the hands here. So a little more intense for those hip flexors. All right, we're gonna come out of it the same way that we came into it, left arm, or whichever your opposite arm is, comes back up towards the ceiling, and then use that momentum to bring us back up to our nice long spine. And we'll hit that one more time at the end of our second time through, but from here, we're gonna take it back to our lunge. Our left leg is gonna step forward. We're taking this into our crescent, so sweep those arms up, curl the right toe under, lift the knee, and this is gonna take us into our chair. So find your balance, hinge at the hips, weight on that left leg, slide that right leg forward, find that chair for me. Very nice, very nice. One more big inhale and exhale here. And let's release it down towards the floor into our forward fold. Forward fold, forward fold. We're gonna come all the way up and all the way back down. As usual with this, it is one nice deep breath to come up and down. So if you prefer to stay low, if you know that'll give you a little bit of lightheadedness, feel free to stay low. If not, inhale takes us all the way up to our extended mountain. Nice reach up overhead, maybe a little look. Exhale brings us back into that fold. We're gonna go through this one more time to hit that second side. When you get to the bottom, that next inhale finds our halfway lift. Flat back, long spine, active core. Exhale back into that fold. Let's take it to our chair. Sweep the arms up, send the hips back. Second to last chair of our practice here tonight. Getting that little bit of extra work in. I know it's been a relaxing practice, but we still got to do a little work here. We got to keep that core engaged. So pull that belly button in towards the spine. Keep the lower back protected. Can you get a little deeper into this? Give those legs a little bit of extra work here. Very nice, very nice. Next exhale takes us back into that fold, fingertips towards the toes. Let's set that left leg back nice and long, toe down. Left knee comes down, top of that left foot meets. Sweep the arms up. Sink the hips forward. Reach just slightly back. Nice chest opener. Fabulous. Kind of release that stretch just slightly. Right hand down to that right knee. Left arm reaches up and over top. Left knee grounded into the mat. Left hip pressing out away from your center line just slightly. Very nice. Inhale brings that torso back up to center. Releases the arm. Hamstring stretch. Sends those hips back. Lengthens that front leg. Lifts the front toes. All right, last time with that kind of weird transition, let's take it down into our hurdler stretch. So sending that right hip down to the mat, that left leg is around to our side. That right leg is out nice and long. Take your time in that transition if you need it. When you're ready, let's fold it forward. And let's go ahead and bring it on back. Same as before, you've got those three options: hands behind the hips, elbows down, or all the way down to the mat. Leaning it back, finding the stretch that works for you, for your hips, for your body. Very nice. With your next inhale, we're bringing that torso back up and over. We're circling that left leg around, kind of releasing that tension on that knee. And let's find our half fold down towards that right leg. So when you're ready, fingertips towards the toes. Find that nice deep stretch. Fabulous. Inhale brings us up to that long spine. We've got our spinal twist here up next. That left leg crosses over that right knee. Right arm reaches. Torso turns towards the left. Elbow comes to the outside of that knee. Left arm comes around behind. And let's find our counter twist. Releasing it. You can reach that left arm if you'd like. Open the torso towards that right wall. Fabulous. Go ahead and release that. Let's find our figure four. Lean it back, bend that right knee, plant that foot. You can find it right here, or you can roll it on back. Pressing that left leg away from our center line for that little bit of extra work. Very nice. Let's take it to that spinal twist down here. Plant that right foot. Left knee pulls in towards our center line. Arms come out to our side. Nice big T. Legs go down to that right. Left ankle is crossed over, so the legs go to the right. Looking over that left shoulder. Let's bring it through center. Same option as before. You could just switch those legs if you like this spinal twist, or if there's something else that you know is going to feel a little better in terms of that spinal twist, feel free to take it over in that opposite direction. So any version of that spinal twist is fine. Fabulous. Go ahead and bring it back up to center. We're taking it to our boat. So uncross. Inhale, extends those arms. Exhale, brings us up into that boat pose. Choose your version. If you'd like to add to it, you can go right into that Russian twist. Nice and controlled. Keep the spine, the lower back nice and long, nice and protected. So if you want that Russian twist, but it starts to round out, just plant those heels and still find the twist. Not a requirement though. You can still just find that nice stable boat. We're here for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're circling it over for our cat and cow. So use your transition, circle the legs around, bring it up and over, however feels best for you to get to that hands and knees for 2 more cats and cows. Last 2 cat and cow of the day. We're almost there, almost done. Finishing out, excuse me, with these last couple of stretches. When you finish those, turn those toes under, press those hips up and back, that final down dog. Fabulous. And we've got our final camel or modified camel of the day coming up next. So go ahead and send those knees down to the mat, hips back towards the heels and torso up nice and long. Now, we're not going to do those warm-ups again. We're just going to go right into it. So same 2 options. Plant those hands behind the hips and lift and open, or bring the torso up nice and tall. Choose your favorite arm to go down to first, or the opposite arm as last time, whichever is better for you. Bring that hand down to that heel, reach with that opposite, and then bring it down to that opposite side. How many times can I say the word opposite in one set of cues? Pressing those hips just slightly forward. If it feels okay, you can let the head fall back. If that bothers the neck, you can keep it nice and long. Pressing those hips forward. Give me 1 more nice deep breath here. If you're in that full camel, we're coming out of it opposite direction that we just came back into it. So fingertips reach. We use the momentum to come up and over. And then we're going to bring it to our lunge. So that right leg is going to step forward. Whoop. Sweep those arms up. We're taking it to our crest. Left over. Lift the knee. Find your balance. Oh, let's take it to our chair. Hinge forward just slightly at the hips. Step that left forward to meet the right. Final chair of the evening. Last little bit of work. We're almost there. Very nice, very nice. Last one of the night. Last one of the night. Can you get just another centimeter deeper? 1 more nice deep breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. Last inhale. Exhale, fold it forward. Fingertips towards the toes. Nice and slow and controlled. Let's roll it all the way up to our extended mountain. So vertebrae by vertebrae, taking it up. Start with those hips, lower, mid, upper back, shoulders, head, neck, and then the arms. One more, nice big reach. Exhale brings the arms down and around. We're going to finish with 2 nice deep breaths. Inhale takes us up. Exhale brings us down. Second and final one, those palms meet up overhead. Inhale takes us up. Palms meet. Exhale pulls the hands down to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your Monday, a great rest of your week. I hope this was a nice stretch to kind of get you into the groove and get you ready to do a little bit more movement this week. And I hope to see you guys next time. The light in me honors, the light in you. Bowing as we say, namaste.